Come on, man. You gotta admit it does raise a lot of questions.
I swear I'll never understand my fans. You make one April Fool's video that's not to be taken serious, and yet everyone wants more information on Pinkie Pie and the theory of time. I know I won't be making another video like that again for next year. Or at the very least, I'll just put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video.
Surprise!
Ah, burglars! This place needs better security.
Red Cord? Those were just analysts here to celebrate your 100th video.
My what? Oh, that video. Hang on, I can fix this.
What just happened?
Whoa, my whole life flashed before my eyes. And they say Dr. Wolf needs a vacation.
I think my legs switched sides.
Luna, is that you? I'm walking towards the light now.
Sorry about that, guys, but I'm not one for surprises.
Next time, inform us on things like that.
Let me know ahead of time before you do a surprise party for me.
But then that defeats the whole concept of a surprise!
Duh!
So, Red, do you have any plans for your 100th video?
Well, I figured I'd do a review of the 100th episode of My Little Pony since this channel is all about the ponies.
Is it going to be a collab by any chance?
Well, I wasn't planning for it to be, but Wait a minute, is that why you're all here?
I think of it as more of a fortuitous encounter.
You have no idea what that means, do you?
Not a clue. So, can we do a collab on the episode?
Only if you don't jump out my window like last time.
No promises. So, who's doing the synopsis?
I got that covered. Presenting the Wheel of Analysts. The wheel will be spun, and whoever it lands on will do the synopsis. So let's begin. Well, Finn, looks like you're the lucky winner.
Woohoo! Suck it, everyone else! I don't have to do the synopsis!
Seriously, Robin, what is up with you hating synopsises so much? It's not that big a deal.
Will, the last time I did the synopsis, I accidentally committed suicide in the middle of the video.
Alright, let's get this colossal collab on the road. Cue the flashy intro.
Sorry, not in the budget.
Man, we're already off to a promising start, aren't we?
Just summarize.
The episode starts off with a pair of faces that we haven't seen for quite a while. Sound familiar? It turns out that it's finally time for the wedding bells to toll for Cranky and Matilda Donkey. But unfortunately, they've run into a problem. They sent out invitations to everyone they know with the wrong date. And now their only option is to move the wedding to the date on the invites. See, this is why it's a bad idea to have your only method of communication be letters. One tweet could have solved this whole thing.
But Finn, don't you remember what Fluttershy said? Even tweets don't make sense.
Don't overuse the rim shot, I'm on a budget.
No promises. By the way, I think it's important to point out who's writing this episode. M.A. Larson, the man solely responsible for Twi'lek, is writing an episode focusing on background ponies. May the brony tears of their ruined ship fix and destroyed headcanons bring in a new age of comedy. Ah! Wrong channel, buddy! Jaw Scorcher is 2 doors down! Yep, he's never gonna run out of those. Carry on.
So Cranky is upset at this and goes to our favorite mail to correct the issue. And just like that, the fandom rejoiced. We haven't seen this character talk since the last roundup, and that was back in season 2. This episode is off to a pretty good start. We see that Derpy is upset about her mistake and enlists the help of the Doctor, not Dr. Hoops, just the Doctor, played by... Wait, Peter New plays the Doctor? Makes sense.
I'm the Doctor. I am the Doctor.
No David Tennant?
Well, ruined forever. Show's over. Time to go home, everyone. Last one out of the fandom, lock the door.
Oh, come on, you two. I'm really digging the voice and personality that they gave Derpy and the Doctor, and the interactions between the two of them is actually quite charming. Here, Derpy is portrayed as a well-meaning scatterbrain with moments of childlike glee that the Doctor is more than willing to accommodate. Derpy is voiced here again by Tabitha St. Germain, and I honestly think this voice works better than the one used in the last roundup. Well, it's not as awkward anyway. Peter New is also a great choice for the Doctor, as he mimics the speech patterns that David Tennant gave the 10th Doctor, the one they're parodying here, really well.
So Big Mac is the doctor. Somewhere Ellie's getting a horn spark. Well, in my opinion, the voices are very uncanny valley. They were so close to how I'm used to them, but not quite there. But certainly there have been improvements from past canon voices of people like Derpy, who is never named, of course, the Doctor, and Octavia. I'd say the same for Bon Bon, but she's never consistent. But at least they kept that Vinyl was a mute. Having Doctor as not David Tennant is one thing. Having Vinyl as not No Whacking would be far too weird even if they were trying to imitate her voice. I'm just far too used to it. But in all honesty, the voices were brilliant if for no other reason than they didn't make me mad, which, given how much of a purist I am, is quite impressive in and of itself.
Well, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Doctor's voice. It was definitely good. And hey, it was ish. His bit, while funny and definitely played up the whole Doctor Who angle of the character, wasn't the best part of the episode for me personally. It felt like it was stretched out for the admittedly few jokes it really did have. All that happened was that he went to a bowling alley, failed at a 7-10 split, and then ran away. It felt like he was just a filler character for the fans to squeal at his appearance in the episode.
But hey, top-notch voice acting can only make fans squeeze so much. So let's get back to what's really important. The awesome character interactions. The Doc tries to get suited up for the big day, but unfortunately Rarity and the rest of the main six are occupied, thanks to this giant thing known as a bugbear.
I'm surprised they kept the main six in the picture instead of taking them out completely. The bugbear felt like it was just a plot device to keep the main six in the episode, and it didn't leave much of a big impact on it since the issue mainly takes place off screen. My only guess as to why this was the best solution to go with was to add more of a race against time before the monster destroys valuable resources for the wedding.
I guess with the cutie map as a season-long plot device, they could have just easily sent them away for the rest of the episode, but then we would have gotten another Just for Sidekicks and Games Ponies play setup.
Meh, I've seen worse. So, on the topic of pairings, one of the most interesting duos we got in this episode was Bon Bon and Lyra. Now, this pair has had quite the history together, being kind of the first fanship between two background ponies, and the fandom has always made it a point to showcase Lyra as the more bolsterous and weirder of the two, leaving Bon Bon as the more reserved character. Then this episode decides to have its own spin about these two, as Bon Bon is revealed to be Special Agent Sweetie Drops from a secret Canterlot anti-monster agency.
You had me, and then you lost me at Special Agent.
Greetings. The name's Bon. Bon Bon.
Well, it's Special Agent, not Secret Agent.
Oh, come on! I already rented the tuxedo for this joke!
Not my problem. So anyways, what can honestly be said about this scene? We get to see how strong of a relationship Lyra and Bon Bon have with each other, along with adding fuel to the shippers. And the reveal of Bon Bon being a special agent was by far the most confusing and stupidest thing I've seen from My Little Pony. And that's saying a lot. Granted, I don't hate this scene, but the first time I watched it, I was just looking at the whole scene with a sideways head tilt. Oh, and there was also the Dr. Bowling scene. Yeah, dragged for too long and could have easily been written out.
Hey, what's with all Lyra Bon Bon hate in this episode? They were probably the best part Who's Down. Their joke was not only damn funny on its own, but it's a very good meta joke as well, referencing the fact that her voice kept on fluctuating throughout the series up to this point. In fact, pretty much all of the meta jokes in this episode were really good, from friendship problems to the moral of the episode, which we'll get to when we get to. All the jokes about the series were pretty fantastic, and Sweetie Drops / Bon Bon was probably my favorite joke in the episode.
I must say I didn't see the Special Agent Bon Bon thing coming. Did I miss a fanfiction? But I did love how Lyra still sits like a human in a world where everyone sits like a dog. And let's not forget shipping! I was a little disappointed that they stressed that Lyra Bon were friends, but it almost seemed like they stressed it too much. Like every time they said it, there were air quotes. Yes, we're really close friends.
But hey, that's just, like, your opinion, man. Ha! References. And speaking of references, man, this episode reached way far back to bring us the return of Stephen Magnet the Sea Monster. And of all the characters this show chose to give screen time to, Stephen is the one I'm most confused about. I mean, is there this large community of Stephen Magnet fans that I've never heard of or something? don't get me wrong, it's kinda cool seeing a shout out way back to the show's earliest episodes, as well as the awesome idea that the show gave, suggesting that Cranky had some wild adventures of his own as he traveled through Equestria. Something that fits in nicely with the episode's ending moral, by the way. But, I mean, Stephen Magnet? Why? I mean, I'm not complaining, just why?
I also liked Stephen Magnet as well. He was a bit of a play on homosexual stereotypes, but there's a real character to him. He actually does care about Cranky, telling stories about his past and even giving him his precious mustache for Cranky near the end of the episode. Oh wait a minute, I'm not allowed to talk about that yet? Okay, I'll shut up now.
Honestly, I just want some kind of comic about their adventures. And one about Special Agent Sweetie Drops. What? It could work.
Yeah, when Spike becomes an alicorn.
Actually...
Moving on! So after Stephen Magnet's uplifting advice, we come across the most popular of background ships, couples, duos. Yeah, duos, that's what I totally meant to say. Duos with Vinyl and Octavia. Let me just say this first off, whoever designed their home deserves a friggin' medal for having each half coincide with each of their personalities. Octavia's being traditional and rustic, while Vinyl's is flashy and modern. Octavia, voiced by Kasumi Evans, is practicing the wedding march, but can't help but feel it's too been there, done that. But then Vinyl gets an idea and tries adding some beats to her strings. I enjoy how at first Octavia is just sticking with what she knows and doesn't really like the idea of spinning records and noisy wubs going together with the classical sounds of her cello. But then as Vinyl builds upon her melody with a backtracking bass, she starts to hear the gears turning in her head and slowly starts to realize that, maybe the two of them can make something special and unique despite their different tastes in musical genre. Heck, we even get to see a bit of Octavia's wild side when she starts to get more into it when the bass drops. And I might as well say this. You listening, orchestral design from Brony's React? Look, your waifu now has a major role in an episode. You happy now, you table-flipping maniac? Boom!
Woohoo! Not me for once! Anyway, this is one of my favorite parts of the episode. First off, we got an outstanding duet that blended Vinyl's club music and Octavia's classical music beautifully, which was also accompanied by a psychedelic visual performance between the two. And I also like how they portrayed Vinyl. Instead of making her a party-hardy extrovert, she's completely silent and pretty much blocks out the outside world, choosing to let her music do the talking for her.
And, if I may add something to that, Nicky, this is one of the main reasons Vinyl is one of my favorite background ponies next to Colgate. Sure, she was always seen as this crazy party pony on the turntables in the fandom, but this is a nice direction the show has taken her character, even way back in Rainbow Rocks. Very reserved, yet knows when it's time to work. And yeah, like Nicky said, just tuning out the world around her and seeing it through her music, allowing her to continuously surround herself in her own passion and creativity, not letting any hardships get to her. Personally, it's like I'm looking in a mirror at a major part of myself. And that's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, keep your fanboy juices to yourself. Personally, I love that for starters, we get a confirmation that Vinyl and Octavia live together, more details on the ship as news arrives, and that our Danny boy got a shot at Brony music. Oh come on, that is so Brony music! And as I said before, I appreciate that Vinyl is more mute because, while I can stomach an uncanny valley in the other characters, no whacking or die, bitch!
Anyway, once Octavia realizes she's running late, it's a race against the clock to get to Town Hall. And we get... the Bass Mobile! Not quite a bass cannon, but I can dig it.
Not quite as amazing as EQG Vinyl's Optimus bass, but, I'll take what I can get.
Hell yes! This was certainly one of the quickest ways to squeeze in as many background characters as they can. I had to actually pause a couple of times just to see who they crashed into. We got Button Mash, The Cakes, Filthy Rich, Berry Punch, and of course, the best cameo of all, Twilakane!
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. In my opinion, the best thing to have ever come out of this scene is Gummies in a monologue.
What is life? Is it nothing more than the endless search for a cutie mark? And what is a cutie mark but a constant reminder that we're all only one bugbear attack away from oblivion? And what of the poor gator, flank forever blank, destined to an existential swim down the river of life to An unknowable destiny?
Whoa, that was more deep than Maud's poetry. So everyone makes it out of that, okay? Don't know how that's possible, but still, the wedding is on and we get a surprise appearance by Celestia and Luna.
Woo! Hail Princess Luna!
Please don't go through that again.
I promise nothing. Anyway, we finally get to see a very, for lack of a better term, human side to these two. Despite being princesses, they are still normal sisters who can bicker about stupid and minor things. Honestly, I've been waiting to see a more personal side to these two for a long time now, and we finally got a hint of that at the wedding. Speaking of weddings, actually, Shining Armor and Cadence even got to make an appearance at just the last minute.
This just in, Shining Armor is experiencing some liquid pride overload.
Oh, grow a pair, Shining Armor.
You think he's got PTSD from his own wedding?
Nah, he's only crying because his fanfics are ruined.
Is it wrong that this interaction reminds me of my relationship?
Guess you could say this episode did some real ass kissing. Eh? Eh? Come on, bro hoof. Somebody. Don't leave me hanging, guys. Oh, I had a few more jokes I wanted to do.
Continue, I'll bring him back during our final thoughts. So the wedding begins, the main six get the spike treatment, and the male gives an impressive speech about the characters we've come to know and love who make up the story with stories of their own, whether big or small. These characters may be just mere background and side characters, but they've impacted us just as much as our main cast. And with that said, Cranky and Matilda are now married with flying colors, or flameless fireworks powered by love to be exact.
Is everything in this world powered by love or friendship? Can I see a remote, Red?
I can send you back to that dimension anytime you'd like.
Never mind, I guess some mysteries can just stay mysterious. So our main characters get some last-minute lines before the fade to black about how grateful they are to live in Ponyville with such a wide variety of characters.
And that was My Little Pony Slice of Life. Now comes everyone's final thoughts on the episode. We will do this alphabetically. Hey Can Crane, come back in and give your final thoughts.
Glad to. Amongst the remains of a million shattered headcanons came one of the most fun and outright entertaining episodes MLP has done. Not just this season, but ever. I've seen fans call it everything from pandering to a love letter to MLP slyly mocking their own fans, but really, the reasoning doesn't matter. Because when all is said and done, we got a wild trip that went beyond what anyone could have imagined. The 2-week wait might have been a long and painful one, but dang if it wasn't worth it.
I can safely say this has become one of my favorite episodes this season, if not the entire show. Seeing these characters be fleshed out like this, however little they had to start with, was just a real treat. And the moral at the end really encompasses that every tiny aspect, even if some may see them as unneeded, really do make the final product become so vibrant and rich. Now, I know there are some others out there that are saying that this was the worst kind of filler or that this even rivals Double Rainbow. To that I say, it's all a matter of subjectiveness and perspective. Yes, the memes and references can be grating to some, and there are some moments that just make you want to laugh or facehoof at how stupid they are. But if you look past all that, it was meant to be a celebration and a nod to the people who helped take the show to unexpected heights. In fact, if you want, I recommend checking out Bronny Buck's Moral of the Story for Slice of Life for a more in-depth perspective. Trust me, you won't regret it. Thanks, M.A. Larson.
Despite a few scenes that felt a lot longer than they should be, and a few story choices that might get seriously out of some people, I can't deny that just about every interaction in this episode had me hooked. The Doctor and Derpy, Lyra and Bon Bon, Matilda and Cranky, Vinyl and Octavia, and even a few scenes with that old charmer Stephen Magnet. And the writers didn't just stick with the fan service gimmick and call it a day. Oh no, they went the full 30 miles and put effort into every single pairing they set up. I feel that the writers truly went for maximum variety and maximum enjoyability. Plus, that moral at the end about how every person matters in a story, no matter how small of a role they play, is a fantastic lesson, and one that anybody regardless of age should take to heart.
I often refer to certain episodes as done-right versions of other episodes, and this episode was the Friendship is Magic pilots done right. Slice of Life managed to create 6 new characters from scratch, while still making the episode exciting and enjoyable. The writing was a little shaky here and there. There was a lot of, "I can't believe that this thing that is happening lines. But still, this was a crazy fun episode that I would definitely watch again and again.
I could not have asked for a more entertaining episode where you could just sit back and relax as your favorite characters just do what they do best. The interactions from these characters were great, and the hectic atmosphere made it even more enjoyable. Even though there were a few moments of instability, that's just part of the fun, and having a little fun now and then never hurt anyone.
This episode wasn't the most structurally correct or plot-heavy episode, but it's an episode that we the fans wanted to see. Yes, it's fan pandering times 10, but it was fan pandering done with effort by the staff of the show, and they wanted to thank us for our support, and we thanked them for giving us something to support. This was a good break from the adventurous side of the show, and I hope to get more episodes like this in the future.
This episode is like a canon version of Double Rainbow, and I still love it. Looking at it as part of Season 5, it's a bit of filler and annoying fan service, but as a celebration of making it to 100 episodes and as a look to the future, it's amazing. The background characters, who admittedly had no character before this episode, were elevated to full-on character status. Thanks, M.A. Larson. You kinda made one of the best tributes to the fandom ever made.
All in all, I really liked it. I mean, it always could have been better, but it didn't make me fan rage, which given the subject matter was really impressive.
This episode was all about the love! And an appropriate showing to all of us fans of how this show was able to continue thanks to our support. The pillars that have made the backdrop to the main 6 adventures. We fans were inventing stories for interesting designed ponies, and they became our babies at no time at all. An episode like this is full to the brim with love from the writers to the fans, ponies' relationships to one another, the ponies coming to the donkeys' happiest day, and supporting them despite their different backgrounds. It's awe-inspiring to see all of this work in 22 minutes and feel so genuine.
I said this in my speed impressions. This episode is by far the stupidest thing that My Little Pony has ever done, and yet I can't help but enjoy it. It's like the AVGN movie. Dumb as hell, but a massive love letter to the fans. The references, the jokes, it was all a massive treat to those who have been in the Brony fandom for a long time. So for what it is, this episode is fun to watch and a treat to enjoy.
Wow, this was a lot of fun to do. Thanks for helping out, everyone. So, who here is going to help with the editing?
Oh, sorry, Red. I gotta catch the next train to, somewhere that's not Hereville. Taxi!
Dude, I can't even do my own editing. I'm Audi 5000.
I can't trust my who's when editing someone else's work from their channel.
Yeah, with 2 jobs, I can't even get my own vids done on time, even with all this soda in my system.
Yeah, I gotta get started on that Lilo and Stitch countdown that I've been postponing for 2 months.
Yeah, I have to work on weekly videos, so about that whole editing thing, no.
And I'm just lazy and don't want to.
Wait, what? I'm stuck doing the editing again?
We know you can handle it, Red. You edited Twilight's Kingdom by yourself.
But I stayed up for 2 days straight on that one.
Well, better get started now if you ever want to beat your old record. See ya!
I hate you all so much.
The feeling is mutual!
Well, that's all for now. Let me know what you all thought about the episode in the comments below. As always, I'm Record, and I watched it, and you can...
Hey, Redcord, can I be in your video?
Get the hell out of my channel!
Ah!
Ugh, I am so getting a lock for that door.